Hey YouTube, this is another Yamaha Pacifica. I had one of these in a couple of weeks ago. The same chap bought another one. The one he had before was a 604, which is 6 series being 600 odd pound, and then the O being no humbuckers and 4 being single coils. So it had like kind of 2 single coils together. It looked like an HSS, but it wasn't really. It was 2 single coils wired together. So I haven't had a look at the back of this, but this is going to be a 611. Because it's got 1 humbucker and 1 single coil. Doesn't say on it. Oh, it does. It's a PAC 611H. H will be for hardtail. There'll be a 611T probably. So we've got Seymour Duncans in it. This is a Seymour Duncan Custom and this is a Seymour Duncan P90. Got a 3-way lever switch and there's a push-pull pot which splits this down to a single coil. It's I really like this arrangement. P90 splittable humbucker, that's giving you a good wodge of sounds. This one's also got locking tuners on it, quite fancy looking ones, Grovers, but they don't have the wee silly wheels and stuff on the back of it. They just look like normal tuners, but they've got like a, when you tighten them, they kind of automatically clamp up. Yeah, these look like Graphtec saddles, I would have said, because they're sort of matte black. I've no idea what year this would be. You did notice we were comparing this to his other one, the 6, and this one is made in Indonesia, whereas the other one he's got is made in Taiwan. Completely different feeling guitars, even though they both look the same and the dimensions are the same. This one's got like a glossy neck on it. It does have a serial number, but Yamaha tend to use, is it the Shiro Emperor or something like that number, as opposed to the date. You know, it says like, you know, it's got like 45 on it, which means it's 45 years after whatever it was or something. You know, it's like it can be done, but it's much easier just to have, you know, 2002 written on it. Would be much better, or whatever it is. I think this is relatively modern. Well, last 10 years I think, when they kind of upgraded to this idea of having a P90 in it. I'm not sure a white P90. Maybe put a black one in, but you could always buy a cover, but it wouldn't say Seymour Duncan on it. Yeah, so humbucker in the bridge, split. I'm going to turn the volume down a wee bit. And reverb. It's got a slightly dodgy pot on the amp. Oh! So that sounds very intermittent. I don't think that coil split's working. I'll need to have a look at that and see what it is it's actually doing. So no coil split currently. I think that it might just be the switch broken. You can hear it sort of crackling. I think it could just be. No, so I don't think that's working. I'll sort it so it is working. Neck pickup. Both on. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video and then I'm going to go into the other camera and I'm going to take this to bits to see what it is that's wrong with the switch. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 500k, which I do have one of. I think that switch might just be knackered. Either that or there's a wire off it, or obviously the first thing I'm going to try and do is fill it with contact cleaner and see if that sorts it. And then I shall continue with second part of this. This is obviously, basically I got it in, just needed a bit of a setup, adjustments all around. I was choking a wee bit. Not doing it anymore. Rock and see you in part 2, which will be in this video. Hey, so I'm going to go inside this and see what's up with this push-pull pot. I'm hoping that basically just squishing it with contact cleaner might fix it. Not the right screwdriver. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. It could just be dirty. It's possible. I noticed it was a wee bit turny. I wonder if it's maybe just not been tightened up properly and one of the wires has been pulled off. You never know what's going to go on. I'm pretty sure David said this was the owner said it was really manky when he bought it. The soldering hasn't been touched, it's still all original. So I suppose fill it with contact cleaner and see if I can make it work. What I should have done was look at the contact cleaner before I hit record. There's one. Just get cans of this shit lying everywhere. But I'm going to try and just to see if it's going to sort it. It seemed to be working okay as a tone control. So I'm just... Let's see if we can... It should be kind of obvious that it's doing it, is my thinking. Hear it? Well, sometimes repairs don't take that long. I'll not be charging 50 quid for that, like a shop would. Yeah, so contact cleaner sometimes just... Oh, there was something written on that with blue pen that's come off with the contact cleaner. Sometimes just giving it a squish with the contact cleaner is the way to sort these things. I do know I've got an A500K pot because I just took it out of this 7 string earlier on. Yeah, so there you go. So there's a wee intermission in the video, which probably wasn't worth doing, but I've done it now anyway. I do like these guitars. I couldn't bear it to have that and not work, especially since I was just going on about how I think it's a fantastic layout having. So it means you get humbucker, single coil, but in the middle you get that. So I'll see you back up there. And I'm back, and it's now got a coil split in it again. Also the volume control really noisy. It's not now. So single coil, humbucker. That's basically that Hendrix chord is always what I use to see whether something's a single coil, because you can, I don't know, there's something about that when you're in single coil. It's got a right sizzle to it for telling whether it's actually a humbucker or a single coil. Very single coil. So the other sound would be a middle position with this as a single coil, so basically 2 single coils. Yeah! Definitely single coil. So fun to be had there. So your 5 sounds are bridge humbucker, the gain on, single coil, then middle position with this as a humbucker, with that as a single coil, and then the neck. There should be more Strats with P90s in them. It doesn't happen very often. For some reason, I've wondered about this before. I've built a couple of Strats and put P90s in them. P90s in a Telly, yep. P90s in a Les Paul, yep. An SG, yep. Strat, no. Why? Yes, you in the comment said, Wilkinson make one with P90. Yeah, but Fender didn't. Nobody did really. P90s weren't really a thing in a Strat for whatever the reason was. I don't think, maybe not that common in a Telly either, but there was a Squire one that definitely had P90s in it. I'm a bit of a P90 fan myself, I have to say. So I was talking to the owner of this. It's kind of like, see, the standard Pacifica, the 112 or the 012, the cheaper one. They are awesome guitars, but it doesn't matter if you knew anything about guitars at all. You looked at one of them and then sat it next to one of these. This looks much more expensive. It's just got that shiny, glossy, kind of luxurious thing going on about it just by looking at it. So it's better, yes. It's kind of like, I was kind of comparing it a wee bit like a sort of like what a classic vibe is, sort of, but I mean miles better than a classic vibe, obviously. Any of them, doesn't matter who you are. There's a wee bit of a session-y feel I always think about a Pacifica. It's kind of session-y looking. It doesn't scream with individuality, I don't think. And I think there's a problem with, there is a stigma about Yamaha, Pacificas, because we're now at the age when these first came out, or the cheaper one first came out, that's what schools used to get in, because they were by far the best guitar you could get for like 130, 150 quid. This is back, I was actually watching an Anderton's video a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about it. There was a time 20 years ago when basically a Yamaha Pacifica was a real guitar you were buying for 150 quid. Any other guitar you bought for that wasn't really a real guitar. You know, it was like, you could sort of learn on it, kinda, sort of thing. Whereas the Pacifica was a proper, giggable instrument. I think everything else has kind of caught up a little bit with Yamaha. I think it's basically just because decent hardware is now much cheaper. I think it's got a lot to do with it. You don't get that many guitars from the last 20 odd years, what about 1999, that are absolute shit, apart from Burswood. They're terrible and Swift. You know, there's a few to avoid, but generally just all, especially even good makes and stuff like that, you were getting, you know, like I had an Ibanez Silver Cadet, and it really was just bollocks. It really was terrible guitar. Everything on it was just built to such a price. You know, the bridge was crap, the tuners were crap, the pickups were crap, the pots were crap, the wood was crap, the frets were crap. You know, like, whereas the first Pacificas were the first guitar that was kind of, all of it was pretty good. And what happened then was all the schools bought them in, so everyone's basically learning to, in school on guitar, playing one of those original Yamaha Pacificas that's been played by 50 other kids who've rubbed their bogies in it and scratched their name with a compass in it, and the strings never get changed. So that kind of guitar, it doesn't really matter how good a guitar is, if it's had that sort of little bastard kids playing with it and just, you know, putting Tipex on everything, because you used to put Tipex on everything when you were at school. I don't know, I wonder if you still get Tipex. I remember Tipex was a viable commodity. You used to use it for many things. You know, painting toy cars with Tipex, because you always had Tipex. I've not even seen Tipex for... I don't even know if you still get it. But the neck on it's quite thin this way. It feels this way. I bet you it'll be the same dimensions, but I mean, are very similar. It's quite a D section. A C's a sort of flatter. It's more of a D, so it's quite deep that way, and it feels it. Again, this is going to be 1 or 2 millimeters off what I'm used to, or I'm not really used to anything. That's the problem. Also, I've been playing that 7-string, so it obviously feels very thin. If I'm feeling, get my thumb right over and play, you know, I'm get my thumb and play the B string with my thumb over the top. You know, it's like, yeah, because I've been playing that 7-string thing, which is, the neck is a whole string wider, maybe that much wider. Without the distortion, I bet you that single coil's even more obviously a single coil. Middle position. Humbucker. A really bad backing track. I'm going to put bass on it. I don't actually, as you can see, I went a wee bit mad for the, what do you call it, Telecaster thing for tonight's live stream. I know this will be tomorrow. I'm being a little bit clever. I'm not going to do a hangover video. Lucky that switch cleaner's still lying out from when I was doing this a minute ago. I was not aware this bass didn't work. Knackered! How annoying is that? Right, next. I say I don't have any basses on the wall just now, so horrible feeling this one's tuned to C sharp. But hopefully it won't have an accurate input circuit on it. That's what happens when you... That sounds very low. It's tuned to C sharp. D. Why is it tuned to D? Don't know. But it is. Somebody commented on this the other day, actually, a video I did of this a year ago or something like that. I used to have one of them and sort of used it for learning, had other basses, much more expensive ones than other. None of them played as well, and it's like, I do believe that. Why it was so out of tune, I don't know. I think I had it tuned down for playing along or something. So rather than replacing the crappy backing track, something to play along with, although that did take much longer than it should have. Not sure it would really play along with the drums properly either. Rap pedal! Duncbucker. Single coil. Middle pickup with this as a single coil. With the tone not accidentally turned down this time. Yes. So now the bad points about these resale value. That's it. The only thing, apart from, as I said, I don't know. See, I've kind of get used to it. I think the P90 just gives it a wee bit more class to it. So aside from that little bit of stigma, as I said, with people who had one of these years ago that was never been looked after, you know, they've been going for 91, 20 odd years. You've been able to get the Pacificas, and because some of them were beginner guitars, you get ones where kids who didn't know what they were doing. This is pre-YouTube, remember? There's my TV shutting down. So people would try and modify them using pliers and stuff, and carve their name into it, and do stuff like that. So one of them, you know, when they were new, I'm sure they were good. When they were new, they will have been amazing. If they'd been looked after, they would still be amazing. If you get some 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid scratching Slayer into it with a compass, they get less good, and never changing the strings. And the same thing was if you never change the strings on a beginner guitar, and you know you start off playing your cowboy chords, you're absolutely clamping those strings down as hard as you physically can for the first time you play the guitar. But the problem is, if you don't really learn how to play properly within the first 6 months, you still always just clamp the strings down as hard as you can. But after a couple of months, your fingers are strong enough to actually, you don't have to use all your strength, you can just rest your fingers on it. And if you never change the strings are rusty, you're clamping down on the open chords, and you end up with knackered frets down here. This one will not have that. Yeah, a wee bit of show, very, very little on it. But as I said, the resale value of these is not great, which is great if you're buying a second-hand one. Buy one like this. This is probably 15, 20 years old. Guy said pal said it was manky when he got it. It's cleaned up nicely though. That old thing with it's not an Epiphone, or so the screws haven't all rusted away to nothing. Even if it was manky, the Yamaha spec screws that don't rust, they went for paying £50 more for an entire truckload of screws that don't rust, rather than saving 50 quid and getting ones that just rot. You know, for a truckload, for 10,000 guitars, that kind of thing. So I think that's all the difference is. But as I said, if you're looking these up new, I don't even. This is a 600C. This is probably about an £800 or £900 guitar, which it feels like. But that's not what you pay for them second hand. I can't remember what David. I think it was £350, something like that. You know, you're still talking. Maybe not quite used classic vibe, but a new classic vibe thing, and there is no. I mean, yes, your classic vibe might be lovely, might be really nice. It's not as good as this though. This is a proper pro level guitar. It's almost Japanese. I don't know. I mean, I think you do get the very top of the range ones, like the Pacifica 1000 or 1500s. There will be a Japanese one. I bet you they're absolutely amazing. Like, I don't bet on anything, but I mean, it's probably the best guitar I've ever played, ever. No matter who you are, if you're playing like the Japanese one of these. But Yamaha are a wee bit different anyway, because they use their own factories. So there is a Yamaha factory in Taiwan and a Yamaha factory in Thingy making Yamahas. They don't make 20 other brands for various price points. They just make Yamahas. They weren't always that way. Yamaha were occasionally used to use like some of the Japanese factories and stuff like that. But I think when they moved to Taiwan, they were they kind of didn't have the same drop in quality that everybody else did in the very late 80s, early 90s. When Japan became too expensive to build guitars, everybody else went to Korea and got them built as cheaply as they could. It was like the Harley Benton mentality you get now. Oh, isn't it shiny? Oh, look, it's got brand parts on it. Oh, look at the spec list. Not, how well built is it? Where the Yamaha Taiwan, they basically took half their factory, half their staff, all the management and all that, over to Taiwan and started again in their own factory. So basically, there's not a huge difference between the Yamaha. It's not the same gulf between made in anywhere else and made in Japan the way it is with everybody else, because everybody else just uses Cort and Samick to make things. And Cort and Samick can make fantastic guitars, but they'll also make what you tell them to make. So if you tell them, I want a guitar that looks just like a Fender Stratocaster with all the fancy stuff on it, but I only want to pay you £25 for that guitar, they can do that. And do that, still do that, where you get one that looks, oh, doesn't it look great? There's an awful lot more to it than that. Yeah, so there's no drop off in price if you're buying these used, but there is if you're buying them new. You can probably find it if you look up whatever model it is you fancy, you know, brand new, 800 quid, second hand, 400, what? How? What, a year old and it's lost half its value? This is what they do. Again, it's the Pacifica thing. Everyone, I'm not even sure everyone knows that you get high-end Pacificas. Most people just assume, oh, the Yamaha Pacifica, that's the one that I remember being in Argos or whatever for 130 quid. So, therefore, I remember seeing them, you know, 10 years ago. Sometimes you see them for 50 quid. The very early ones, they're always absolutely knackered when they're 50 quid. But, you know, I think actually Jen just bought one at a car boot sale. There's a blue one I quite fancy on Facebook Marketplace just now. One of the cheaper ones. I mean, they're fantastic guitars. They're not like this though. This is way better. But because people remember seeing these knackered ones in 50 quid and, you know, under 100 quid, and they're like 200 odd quid new for the cheapest one. So immediately, as soon as you buy that, take it out the shop, play it for a month, try and sell it. Suddenly, you're competing against all these ones that are much cheaper. Because they're maybe 20 years old. But the P90 ones definitely. These ones will be a premium. I think even the cheaper one, the one you get now for 200 quid, whatever the basic model is now the P90 thing with the coil split, which is it's a really good system that more guitars should have. Talk about the biggest range you can get out of a guitar is probably with the 3 pickups. You know, it can kind of do anything. I do love the. I think that's actually dirt. It was. Yeah, no, the neck's so smooth. It definitely feels totally luxurious. Love it. So, lots of interesting guitars coming this week. I'm not going to have many Telecasters, but it's been 2 weeks since I did a tele video. Since I got the black one. So I'll be playing them tonight on the live stream. So, see you last night's live stream and during the week. The problem with some of this stuff is, I get this a wee bit with the JPAX guitars. I can play a guitar and it's, oh, this is great, I'm really enjoying it, but see when you play a really good one, it's much nicer. Which, I mean, yeah, I'm it's just, you get used to it. It's not so bad if I was playing a really good guitar yesterday and then I play a Squire or something today, that's fine. It's when you go straight from one to the other, or in my case, I'm going the other way. I'm going from this PV thing that I made, which is like, it's literally Skelfie. Hear that? That's how well sanded it is. That's not even the bit that is, that bit there. Yeah. So actually getting one that's shiny and smooth, it's like, whoa, makes it even better. But there's not an awful lot of guitars you can get better than this, really. But at any price, I wouldn't have thought, you know. Put this up against a $3,000 custom shop Strat, bet you it does awful well. And does different things, because it's got a humbucker thing in it. Rock on, catch you later.